The next part of our event this evening is for the signing of the sister port agreement between Barbados Port Inc., that's BPI, and the Manzanillo International Terminal, MIT. And for that I'm going to ask Frida Nichols to come up. Frida is the manager and market development public relations person at the port. And then I would ask the members here to come to the table, please. Thank you. I'll let you come here and I'll sit behind.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Frida Nichols, and I'm the Manager Market Development and Public Relations at Barbados Port Inc., which was formerly known as the Barbados Port Authority. We were corporatized in 2003 as a company under the Companies Act of Barbados, and the name was changed to Barbados Port Inc. I would like to recognize the presence of Senator the Honorable Maxine McLean, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Ambassador of Barbados to the United States, His Excellency John Beale, the Ambassador of the Republic of Panama to Trinidad, Her Excellency Arlene Gonzalez Costa, all of our diplomatic and consular representatives of Barbados who are here with us in the audience, Professor Velma Newton, representatives of the diaspora organizations in the audience at this forum, and the members of the media. What is a sister port agreement? Sister port relationships strengthen the economic and commercial bonds between respective countries, which focus on technology and operational improvements and allow sharing components of programs and policies, sharing of various information in port infrastructure improvement, commercial facilities development, and port operation, and to cooperate for trade vitalization and service improvement. We are here this afternoon to witness the signing of a sister seaports agreement between Barbados Port Inc. and the Manzanillo International Terminal of Panama, South America. Allow me to introduce the port officials who will execute the signing on behalf of their respective ports. To my immediate left, Mr. David John Marie, Chief Executive Officer, Barbados Port Inc. Next to him, the Chairman of the Board of Directors, Mr. David Harding, Barbados Port Inc. Next to him, Mr. Carlos Urriola, Senior Vice President, Manzanillo International Terminal, Panama. And next to him, Mr. Stacy Hatfield, General Manager of Manzanillo International Terminal. Seated next to Mr. Hatfield is Ian Short, Manager of Terminal Operations at Barbados Port Inc. And next to him, Mr. Kenneth Atherley, our Divisional Manager, Corporate Development and Strategy at Barbados Port Inc. The declaration that will be signed this evening reads as follows. On behalf of Barbados Port Inc., I've identified the persons, and on behalf of the Manzanillo International Terminal, in assembly for the purpose of signing a non-binding international sister seaports agreement between Barbados Port Inc. and the Manzanillo International Terminal under the following terms. First, this agreement will officially link Barbados Port Inc. and the Manzanillo International Terminal through an international sister seaports agreement. Second, this agreement will recognize the contribution which Barbadians made to the development of Panama through the Panama Canal Project. Third, both Barbados Port Inc., through its chairman and officials, and the Manzanillo International Terminal, through its director and senior executive managers, must execute the International Seaports Agreement. Fourth, both ports will commit to the free and uninhibited exchange of information pertaining to the cargo and cruise industries in each port. Fifth, both ports shall, through best efforts, promote the commercial opportunities that may be of mutual benefit to the parties. Sixth, both ports will work towards the exchange of cultural and historical information on the Barbados-Panama relationship for the benefit of the communities of the respective sister ports and the nationals. Seventh, through the mutual agreement of both sister ports, additional areas of cooperation and partnering may be spelled out as a part of the Sister Seaports Agreement. The parties consider of the utmost interest the creation of a working group made up of a limited number of representatives from each party for the purpose of putting into practice the intention of this agreement. In conformity, signed in the city and date indicated. I will now call for the signing. We'll start with Mr. David Harding and Mr. Carlos Urriola. And they're going to sign 4 copies of the document. Each port will keep 2. Now our Chief Executive Officer, Barbados Port Inc., will follow with his signature, and on behalf of Manzanillo International Terminal, Mrs. Stacy Hatfield. And finally, the witnesses, Mr. Ian Stewart, Manager Terminal Operations, Barbados Port Inc., and to his left, Mr. Kenneth Atherley, Divisional Manager, Corporate Development and Strategy. While we're signing, it just dawned on me, David, Mr. Bulbulia, that we should have had a trumpet fanfare for this. But we imagine. Can I have a round of applause for the, thank you. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I now invite Mr. David Harding Chairman of Barbados Port Inc., to deliver a few remarks.
Thank you very much, Frida. Protocols already been observed. Let me go right into saying what a wonderful opportunity this is for the Port of Bridgetown in particular and Barbados in general to have created this relationship with MIT and with Panama. It's important, as we've heard all during the day, and I guess yesterday when I was unavailable, the link between Panama and the Caribbean, but Barbados specifically. That ditch, they like to call it, of 51 miles in length, would have saved approximately 7,800 miles of all water service from San Francisco to New York. I think as people in the maritime transport business, we look at the Panama Canal through the eyes that say to us that when you can shorten the distance of cargo ships plying trade from one point to the other, the Panama Canal is most important, very important. Trade lanes, new trade lanes were created as a result of the Panama Canal. And that canal started by the French and completed by the Americans, but undoubtedly built on the backs of Barbadians and other Caribbean people. My paternal grandmother had a cousin that went to work there. He did his work and he died there. I have no knowledge of what transpired caused his death, but there are many, many things that one could have encountered during those early years that would have caused his death. But for me to sit next to my friend Carlos Urriola, and let me say that we share a common bond of the Caribbean Shipping Association. Both Carlos and myself are past presidents of the Caribbean Shipping Association, and I've been involved in this industry for 44 years. Carlos, although he looks a little older than I am, he is relatively young to this field, but nevertheless, I have watched him put his stamp on the Caribbean Shipping Association in a style that could come only from a person working in an area that recognized the importance of all water trade. So the Panama Canal continues to loom in importance on this business of international trade. I was recently invited by CIBC First Caribbean in Trinidad to be one of the panelists to speak on the proposal, and indeed more than a proposal now, the widening of the Panama Canal and what it would mean for the Caribbean. My take was slightly different than some of the others. I felt that it would not mean a great deal for all the Caribbean islands because the cost of developing a port to accommodate these mega container ships is going to be astronomical. It's never going to be, you never get that proper return back from the investment. But for those places like Jamaica, maybe Coseda, definitely Freeport, those countries will see immediate benefits. What too will happen is that these current ships will have to ply elsewhere, and some of the other ports in the Caribbean will have to further enhance their port, their operations to accommodate these bigger ships. The Port of Barbados is already embarked on that, and we are moving ahead with a number of initiatives and projects that will see a brand new port rolling out in a few years' time, a port that can accommodate these bigger ships, a port that can give a faster turnaround. So on behalf of the Port of Bridgetown and my board of directors, my deputy chairman, Captain George Ferguson, is in the audience there. Let me say what an honor it is for the Port of Bridgetown to have this sister port agreement with MID. Thank you very much.
Mr. Harding, would you now make your presentation? Mr. Harding will present a mahogany plaque from Barbados to Mr. Urriola. And there's one more presentation, Mr. Harding. One more presentation. Those two bags with mementos of Barbados Port Inc., one to Mr. Urriola and one to Mr. Hatfield. Now, Carlos, your turn. Call on Mr. Urriola to deliver remarks.
Buenas tardes, good evening. Don't believe everything what David says. He's older. We're very proud to be here because next week we're going to celebrate 100 years of the opening of the Panama Canal. And what is amazing is that small countries like Panama and Barbados have put a lot of effort in maintaining this waterway, not only building it, but operating. So sometimes small countries do big things. So we never forget about that. So we only do this every 100 years. So then we decided to go for a third set of locks, which is everything goes okay, it's gonna be finished by end of 2015. And now we are in the drawing board looking to a fourth set of locks. We're starting that because, you know, we're not gonna let Nicaragua win us. But the most important thing is that it's a great occasion. Coming here, before getting to the plane, I called the canal administrator, Jorge Quijano. I said, I'm going to Barbados. Do you have a message for them? He says, yes. Thanks for the great work of the Bajan people that helped to build the canal. So, what better occasion to do a sister port agreement with the Port of Barbados than in the anniversary of the Panama Canal. Talking about maintaining relations, talking about strengthening relations, talking about paying back some of the things that Bajan did in Panama. Now we want to do it, assisting each other in making progress in the port business. So I was thinking when I was coming here, so we tried to bring a couple of gifts. I'm going to explain one, which we think is very valuable. You know why the French failed to build the canal at the beginning? they didn't bring Caribbean people. It's true, they didn't. They brought a lot of French people, and you know the weather. The American brought Caribbean people. So look into the different archives. We found, and this is an original share, it's a bond really, of the French Canal that was done by Ferdinand de Lesseps. He needed money, so he did bonds. And since I couldn't frame this because it was more than 100 ounces in the airport, I brought it here. This is an original bond with all the stamps here, so you can redeem, I don't know to whom, but this is a piece of history. This is a bond of 1880 with all the different stamps and all the other redeeming. So I brought you to frame it, and with this is just a little bit of history. Remember, countries cannot forget our history, and this is a way that you can always tell he's a shareholder of the Panama Canal, but the French one. I will pass the microphone to Stacy because he has another gift for Mr. David Jean-Marie.
Just let me quickly say, though, that now that I have this in my hand, Barbados is going to claim 50% of the Panama Canal, irrespective of who started to build it. There's still the one Panama Canal, so we lay claim to this. Thank you very much, Carlos.
So after 100 years of operation of the canal, obviously we're going through a major expansion now, and no doubt many descendants of the original workers that came from Barbados are participating in the expansion as well. But while the expansion is in progress, the Panama Canal Authority created some business opportunities, employment opportunities for single mothers who live in the canal shed to help them out as well. So what we have here is a ship that was carved from basalt rock, which came from the excavation sites. And we're going to present this to David Jean-Marie here. A little piece of Panama coming back to Barbados.
Now he needs a new doctor to bird that ship.
The final presentation is going to be made to David Bulbulia. Yes, David, take a break from your hard work. Could you come up, please? And this is a similar strip of that rock. This is for the facilitation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade for the signing of the Sister Ports Agreement here this afternoon. You do? Oh, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of this segment of the afternoon's program, the signing of the Sister Seaports Agreement between Barbados Port Inc. and the Manzanillo International Terminal of Panama, South America. On behalf of the Board of Directors, Management, and Staff of Barbados Port Inc., I would like to extend sincere thanks to Mr. Urriola and Mr. Hatfield for their representation of the Manzanillo International Terminal here this afternoon, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade for facilitating the signing ceremony, the management of Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center, members of the media who are covering this event, and to you, the representatives of the Barbadian diaspora, delegates to the consultation. Thank you.